Yep. Yep, yep. And if not, then let's go ahead and run a test. And if that test don't say anything, let's run some more tests, more tests, more tests, more tests, and you don't get answers at all. And then the practice of medicine.
Yeah. That's
Practice and
to
all.
see what, and if you have side effects, we got something for that too.
More tests, more drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I guess the third thing is that the medical industry, it's a business.
That I had to, when I looked at it from that framework, it really blew my mind. It's like, you're right. This is not philanthropy.
You can't do it for free.
No.
Yeah, it costs money. And then if you're a business that is operating it, you got to have a profit in order to be around. Because if you're not around, then you're not going to be able to provide any kind of service. And so the incentive is the profit. The incentive is not a positive outcome, because if everybody was healthy, they wouldn't be in business.
People wouldn't come to them.
Yeah, 100%. And the way I like to look at it, like the hospitals, it's the same thing as a hotel. You got to have
Butts and beds.
butts and beds.
Yeah.
The more butts and beds you have,
The more procedures.
yeah,
Yeah.
more money,
Yeah. The
more
money for
reimbursement from
them.
insurance. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. And so they have this great model that you don't even think of. Hey, let's go get a test, right? Oh, here's another intervention. It could be a poison pill. It could be a mutilating surgery. It could be radiation that just tears everything up. And you want some more tests? Oh, there's still some things wrong. So
Yep.
let's refer you.
Yep. I've known people who have had surgery, whether it's on their knees or their ankles, their foot, whatever. And it's like, well, that didn't work, so we're going to have to go back in there. Or you have people who, whether they broke their ankle or their foot and they're not healing properly. And it's like the first thing that comes to their mind is surgery.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm not okay with it for myself.
No.
You know, the question is, are you okay with it? Or there's a newer full body MRI machine called Pronuvo, and it can be anywhere from $1,000 to $25 for the full body scan. And here's what they promise: they can actually seek out and find about 500 different medical conditions. And so, if you're doing this scan, you're looking for a problem.
Yeah.
You're feeling fine. But
Yeah.
then, through the scan, let's see what's kind of happening. We found these 10 things. What are they going to do with those 10 things?
Well, we can get you started on these medications because we want to save your life. So glad we found it early because we nip it in the bud early.
Right. Which leads to the fourth thing is that there's this big conception that early detection saves lives all the time. And that is just not true. I don't know why they keep saying that. They have their reasons, but
slogan.
I'm here to tell you it's
They're
not true.
selling it. They're selling it.
Oh, completely selling it.
Yeah.
Because you take like mammograms.
Yeah.
We're being sold that mammograms you got to do every year or two.
Every year.
Because they're finding thing, it's a lifesaver. And it's going to be controversial.
Yeah. And they tell you to start early to get your baseline at 35 years old.
There you go.
And then from when you turn 40, you
They
start
can-
getting it every year. That's a lot of radiation.
It's a lot of ratio. And here's the thing. With mammograms, you're 3 times more likely to be overdiagnosed than it is to actually save someone's lives. And so now you talk about saving lives. So we found someone who is diagnosed with cancer and they're totally fine within 5 years. So guess what? There's 3 people's lives that we saved. So early detection saves lives.
Wow.
But they had a problem they didn't have a problem to begin with.
Wow.
And could have resolved itself.
So, right. What's another one?
I'll say a colonoscopy.
Ooh, that's another big one.
Because
Get your when you turn 50, get your colonoscopy.
right. And here's what they don't tell you is that for about every 1,000 colonoscopies, 1 life can be saved. One life can be saved. But they don't tell you that 1 death also happens from the perforations and complications of having a colonoscopy. So it's a net zero, 100% net zero.
Wow.
So me personally, I'm doing things that I don't need a colonoscopy by having my lifestyle, nutrition.
Yes. You're doing everything which you're supposed to
do. And you know,
naturally and clean.
Yep. And even if I were to get cancer, I'm not going through it. I'm going to do everything I can, even more naturally and more holistic, because I don't want to live with those complications from the medications and treatment interventions. Right. But then again, it got all those procedures, all these interventions, and this product model. So they're going to get compensated. And part of the way hospitals and doctors get compensated is, so the fifth thing is that their compensation is based upon your compliance.
Explain.
So when your compliance is, if I'm a doctor, I tell you, here are my orders. Just take this medicine, to do this vaccine, to do this schedule, to take whatever it may be, my orders. is that as a patient,
You should listen.
you get rated upon if you're compliant with my orders or not.
Oh,
And so if I have 100 patients and 95 listen to me and do what I say, I have a 95%
compliance rate.
compliance rate.
Is
Well,
that by the is that by the insurance companies?
everybody knows that number. They're measuring it. And so insurance companies want to make sure that you are 100% compliant, because if you're compliant with, say, doing a medicine in which they're going to have on their schedule, in which they have in their benefits management type of group, then they can get kickbacks from the pharmacy as a form of rebates. And so if you're compliant, then that means, hey, I'm going to get my rebate. But if you're not compliant and you're not at a high percentage, then guess what?
They don't get anything from you.
You don't get anything from me. So for the people who are not compliant, they start to weed them out of the practice. In fact, it happens to us.
Yeah, that did. Now that you mention it, it did. For their annual physicals.
Our kids?
Yeah.
Yeah. Explain
And
yourself, sweetheart.
We had to, because of their activities. They need to see that sports physical. And because we opted to not do certain medications.
The V's, no more V's in the kids.
I feel like they've had enough.
Yeah.
It's not like they don't have any. They have had enough.
Plenty.
And because of that, I was told that I couldn't bring them back there. Future care.
Yeah. You're no longer wanted here, can't be accepted here because you're refusing to go with the orders.